Kind of wanted to touch base with you about that and apologize just for blowing things out of proportion, making you feel uncomfortable, and putting basically us in a
Yes, guys, we're talking about Ready to Love and dealing with Kamil and her apology. Listen, the apology is accepted, but you still got to run, Cornelius. The apology is accepted, but you still got to run. And here's why. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like it, share it, subscribe, and then click on the bell button for notification of the what uploads. Do that right now. Click on that bell button right now. All right. And for those of you who are returnees, already know what it is. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen. All right. Listen. Stay hydrated because the streets out there, they're hot. Let's talk a little bit about Kamil and Cornelius. I did a video for the last episode, and I spoke about the fact that Kamil is actually conditioning Cornelius for control. Okay, the blow-ups, the emotional blow-ups, the emotional words that she's using on Cornelius, that call him a dumbass and this and that. You know, the way she is now closing his world around him by not allowing him to speak to other women before she starts doing emotional manipulation of saying, you know, I don't, you know, that's the problem. You're talking to other women. All of that, okay, is leading him down to a place of abuse and control. That's all it's leading him to. Okay, the apology is accepted, the apology is appreciated, but we shall not have it. What I mean by that is you are not going to enter a relationship with this woman. She's not going to learn just now. This is not a once-off moment. It is not a what? Once-off.
We will not have it. I said we will not have it. Oh.
So it's not a case of the fact that apology is not appreciated. It's the fact that this behavior will repeat itself because it comes from a deep emotional place. This isn't your miscommunication or a mismatch of what I said. No. And I'll do that in another video where we talk about her at the poolside and show you some of the things that happened after. This was conscious movement. This was an insecurity that flared itself up, showed itself, but it had been coming from the very beginning. Okay, and I said to you guys, if editing was, maybe they're just doing editing for this episode, then I would say I would apologize. But it only got worse watching them at the poolside as to what happened. What? Because he was having a conversation with Sydney, and the fact that you and other women, and you were saying that he was getting tested and he was failing the test. Whose test? He's not your man. And therefore, this apology, we hear it. I hear it loud and clear. That apology was speaking. But unfortunately, because this type of behavior doesn't just go away, it's not, you know, people can have moments, right? People can have moments where they felt jealous or insecure and they have a genuine concern about it. But the way she did, she's been regulating since the beginning. Doesn't want him talking to other women, get annoyed when he's looking at another woman or when he's dating another woman. But it all became too much and it accumulated to this moment. It all came down to this moment. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, in the end, with the situation, what you're seeing with Cornelius and Kamil. Okay, and look at this. I just want to show you this. Before this happened, he actually had his hat on, and now she's taking his hat and she put it on her head, right? Because that's showing that they're feeling each other. There's a connection. There's chemistry. They like each other. That's why he was able to give her hat to. That's why he was able to give his hat to her, or whatever she requested to have his hat on her head. Okay, listen to this.
a very uneasy space.
Well, your apology is very accepted.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I appreciate that. You are my strongest connection. I definitely want to make sure that's clear, right?
Now, you see, he's having to do something, which is he's now having to give her assurances. And the problem with that is when you go to speak with other women, you're saying she's your strongest connection. Because of the way she's reacted, she's going to react like this again. And her excuse will be, but you told me I was your strongest connection. She's already telling other guys who are coming in, Sean, that this is this is her man. Right? She's telling another guy, Sean, my man won't be happy with this. And literally, in a sense, cop blocking you. And that's what happened with you in Sydney. It got cop blocked. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily would have gone after Sydney, but it got blocked because your potential person who you're trying to date is cock blocking you from everybody else. Right? In the real world, this will be even more scary. This is somebody who then is like going to other women and telling them, that's my man, don't go near him. And meanwhile, you're not boyfriend and girlfriend. It's possessive. And an apology won't sort it out. She needs to get therapy. No, it's not, because it's not a one moment thing. If it's a one moment thing, we understand if you have a moment, but she's been acting like this for the last 3 or 4 episodes, and it's just accumulated to now. My girl was pacing up and down the pool when Sydney was talking to him, trying to do little relapse and relays, and you sensed it, Cornelius, right? You sensed it. You sensed the fact that she's trying to patrol and monitor your movements, and you're saying even in this particular scene, you hope you'll be able to get to know the other woman.
Right, and so I have the strongest bond with you. However, I just want to make sure I'm sure.
Right.
I feel like she's showing.
I don't like the language, Cornelius. Oh, you're saying, look, I have the strongest connection with you, but however, I want to make sure I'm sure. Bro, you're basically giving her a promise, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. To her, she'll take it as a promise. With someone like Kamil, you have to be very careful what you word, because she'll use it as literal. And then she'll do something and then blame it on you. Right? We appreciate the fact she took accountability. It's nice. She took some accountability. She apologized. She said she was sorry. And we can rock with that. But what we have to understand is this behavior is potentially going to continue over the course of it. It's a pattern now. It's going to happen in the next few weeks, next few months, next few years. You will cry in your bed when you marry this type of woman and you're asking yourself, I don't know how we got here. You should know. How you started is how you're finishing. Don't pretend as if you don't know. Don't ignore the red flags, Cornelius. Now, there's a conversation that's been happening. Maybe I should save it for another video, but which I don't particularly like, which is that we're starting to hear, well, Cornelius is just weak. And we need to be very careful what language we're using here when people are in a situation when they're potentially going to be abused. We need to be very, very careful. I would never say that a woman's just weak. I would talk specifics, which is he has weak boundaries. He's not a weak man. He has weak boundaries. Okay. And unfortunately, because he's maybe not aware, he's a bit naive and a bit green when it comes to this thing, he's seeing her abusive control as just her being a little bit crazy, or because she's so pretty and attractive, he's cutting her some slack. But the problem is this will always escalate. The person hasn't healed. And I was asking this question, saying this question at the beginning of the season, has she really healed? Has she done the work behind the scenes to really be okay? Because right now what we're seeing, that's not work. Right now, what we're seeing is somebody really, and again, if she was just homing in on Cornelius and without all this extra stuff, we would be just saying, oh, do you know what? She's homed in too early. This is not a competition for her. But she's homed in with all the extra frills that are not needed. Let's watch a bit more.
Me a lot of maturity right now, but at the same time, I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get the liberty to get to know the other young ladies. So I definitely feel stifled by her behavior.
So this is what's going to happen. You're going to be pandering towards her behavior every single time, because this is going to happen more than once. It's going to happen again, and you're going to have to pander, and you're going to be having to wait for an apology to see if she'll apologize. And she may do, and she may apologize again and again and again and again, and sorry. But all you're doing is ended up in a cycle of a cycle of abuse, right? Where you have tension, and then you have the incident, and then you have the honeymoon phase, and it'll go back round and round again, and it will just be a consistent level of behavior from either party. Now, we need Cornelius to open his eyes and see and smell the Kenko coffee coming from Kamil's behavior and realize this is not where he needs to be, and he doesn't want to end up becoming an enabler to her behavior. But I would never call him or any man or woman who goes through an abusive situation as weak. What I can say is, does Kamil see him as weak? She will see his weak boundaries and take advantage of him. Yes, right. If because her nature of being emotionally wounded, it's going to see him as an easy target. Right. She's going to see that he has a lack of boundaries that are effective and good. She will take advantage of that. And then she'll twist him around her little finger, get him to feel some type of way, put him on a spider's web, and then when she's finished with him, she'll be just dust him off. And that comes from a place of emotional deficiency. When you haven't had good emotional care from when you were younger, you turn into a user. You struggle to connect and to be in a relationship with somebody because you're scared to leave you first. Probably anxious avoidant. You're probably scared that they're going to leave you first. So you kind of get in there early, and then you issue methods of control so that you're not vulnerable, so that you're not isolated, so that you're not feeling like you're gonna be taken advantage of. That's what I'm seeing here with Kamil. Would love to interview her, love to get on the channel, but these are real stuff now. You know, real stuff that needs to be discussed, right? She's not a bad woman. She's not a bad person. But what she's doing right now is bad vibes. And the apology is accepted, but it doesn't mean that he should go back there. It doesn't mean he should continue a relationship with her. An apology doesn't mean we have to reconcile our relationship back to where it once was. No, it doesn't mean that. It does not mean that. Do you know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, guys. Stay locked and stay loaded.